Alrighty, so we were able to get the 2021 audit done, and just kind of go over it here quick with you.
Wasn't Dawn gonna come in with it?
Oh, yeah, I talked to her. She's
As far as any significant issues, didn't have anything major. Of course, coming into the year, we still had some carryover issues with the mess with the previous treasurer and all that good stuff, but that was the majority of any issues we had. So clean opinion in accordance with the state rules and laws. The main financial statements on page 4 there, run through that real quick. Feel free to ask questions or whatever. As far as, balances and everything, I think pretty solid carryover balances in a lot of the funds. General fund at the top there, ending cash balance of almost 3.2 million. And you get down there, partway down the list, you get into some of your reserve funds, the special machinery, special fire equipment, that type of thing. Equipment reserve had 2.1 million, special road improvement 1.8, so pretty substantial balances in a lot of those. I know one that they'd asked us about there towards the bottom is the Home for the Aged Multi-Year Capital Improvement Fund. It had 741,000 as of the end of 21 in it. And that, I don't think there's anything other major on there.
Scott, was that Spark grant down at the bottom? Is that what we were talking about? Spark grant 160? Doesn't have the 160.
No, it's the one up a little bit higher,
Yep.
Spark with 2 C's.
2 C's.
Oh, I better change my notes.
Spark was,
That Spark grant's the one that, the
State.
COVID money from
State.
the state.
Yeah.
And it was just some carryover expenses that got spent in 21, so.
what is the multi-year capital improvement?
Just multi-year capital improvement, 577,198.
That's not airport, is it?
Nope, the one below it's the airport multi-year capital improvement, so, nope, that's just general
That's
for the
general.
county, yep. For any type of improvements that would be needed in the future, so.
We didn't do anything out of there then? No.
Nope.
So can we do, no, I'm not saying we want to, but can you use something like that on like the fair buildings?
As far as I know, you should be able to, yeah. Any,
So if we had some major deal go on down there or something?
yep, any kind of infrastructure type improvement or anything like that.
That's county owned.
Yep.
So we could maybe put doors on the hangar.
Yep.
That'd be good.
Yeah, it would.
There's $500,000 in there.
Yep.
What do you think about that?
Exactly. I haven't heard back from Randy. He talked to me a little bit, but.
And probably main other thing I'll point out, on page 9 is where any statutory compliance issues are noted. As I stated, basically all of these are ones that were carryover from prior year, stuff that had not been done by the prior treasurer. Publication statements, tax roll reconciliations, tax distributions, all that good stuff. Cash basis, there's a few funds that were actually negative as of the end of '21, so we had to note that. That's a violation of statute. I think most, if not all, have been in the process of being taken care of. Scott and Don both are aware of all these, so. Then we had one, Prairie Dog Fund was over budget a little bit, it wasn't very much, so. Those were all the statutory violations for the year, and I'd expect going forward that will diminish quite a bit, hopefully, so. Other than that, nothing too out of the ordinary, I don't think.
I have a question. The insufficient funds going negative, I mean, it's gonna be negative.
Yep.
As long as there's a balance check, it's always gonna be negative,
Yep.
so that's.
Yep, that's one that's, yep.
Okay.
That's, yep, not gonna change.
Yeah, as long as we have the documentation that we're
Yep.
trying to.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Page 11 is the audit transfers.
Yeah, yep. I believe all those have been made.
Yeah, I just wanted to double check.
Yep.
Before I close the year, that's
Yep.
official.
Yep, they're all final, we didn't have to change anything, so yeah, it should be good to go. Yeah, if you guys see anything on any of those detailed pages, have questions about, just holler. Just kind of look through them, I guess. And
Tell me about it. That's why the diesel scooter's doing is good.
special parks and recreation, what do we spend money like that?
You gave some to the Veterans Memorial, you've given some to the Fair Board.
I thought that was not a special alcohol.
Yeah, I might have, sorry, yeah, that's right. But I think parks can be too.
What page are you looking at, Roger?
16. I knew we spent some money, like you said, to the Fair Board and some, well, some of them went to for those flags.
Yeah, it looks like that would have been a special alcohol.
That was out of the alcohol.
Yeah, and there's, nothing came out of
So
special
where
parks and
does
rec.
special parks and recreation money come from?
Liquor tax. Part of it goes to the special alcohol and part goes into,
Oh,
Parks and
both
Rec.
under the base thing.
yep, they're both
Why did
portion of the
why do
liquor
we have
tax.
2 line items?
Ask the state.
Alliance.
State law, I don't know the history on that, but yeah, that was their creation, so.
So basically, those can be combined. I mean, for us.
Same, yeah, same type
It has
of,
to be spent on the same amount.
same purposes.
Same type of
Yep.
purposes, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Once in a while, we have people come in here and have little projects, and that's the kind of places that
Yep, yep.
I
that's
like
something
to get
keep
that
in mind.
money out of, because it's really not local tax dollars. It is, but it's, so there's about $9,000 there then, between the two of them, is that right?
Agreed.
Is that what you were on?
Oh,
Maybe give you a little bit more clarity.
yeah, okay.
That would be the drug season money too, wouldn't it?
No.
No,
that's
it's,
out of the budget.
Okay.
Yeah, that's its own thing.
Yep, something fun for that.
It's kind of over in Cody's,
Yeah.
isn't it? that health insurance just keeps going up every year.
Yep. Yeah, it does. And that's always one of the big reasons why it's good to have some carryover in the general fund, because you never know how much that's
I don't
gonna.
know what we're gonna go up this year. What do you say?
I'd say at least 10%, if not
Did
15.
you say some of them's been going over 20?
Well, we went up 251,000 from here to here.
That looks like my budget.
I know which page you're talking about.
Doesn't look too good.
Is this my copy that was sent?
Yeah,
back?
you can have it.
Okay. I just took it in one picture.
We've taken the money out for that generator.
Some part of it was 911 and the other
Yeah,
was
that's what I wanna know.
code fund.
Figured some of it could come out of
It was half
911.
and half or about like that.
Okay.
I think it was 2/3, 1/3.
Was it? Okay.
911 was 2/3. Do they get money on every cell phone now too?
Every phone number
Every phone number
in
in
the county, that's
the county phone
to
number?
this county. If somebody moves in and keeps their old number, we don't get the,
Goes somewhere else.
goes to wherever they came from.
They get a little money from BW Telecom for something too, so.
And that can only be used for equipment, is that correct? I don't think it used to be labor.
I believe that is correct. Yes, I believe that's correct. That'd be an error
The
question.
cell phone
but yeah.
charges, they're not like license plates, they have to change them for a certain time.
copy of this. All this letter is just the required communication, documentation, required communication with you guys about any matters with the audit. The whole thing's real standard. Only thing we noted in there, something it's been going on as long as we've been doing the audit, but, and I think, I'm talking to Don and Scott, and I think they're gonna clean it up this year, is, within the general ledger system with the software, there's always been some small amounts that have not cleared out of, they have payroll liability accounts within the software, and they just don't clear out at the end of the year always, and so that's something we typically recommend to have those cleared out at the end of the year. Like I said, it's never been a significant amount of dollars, and we just make the adjustment when we put the financial statements together. But I think, from what Don said, I think at the end of the year, they're gonna start clearing those out, just so they zero out every year. And other than that, I don't think there's any other notable issues to discuss, so.
So the cafeteria plan fund line needs to be zero?
No, it
Okay.
doesn't, no,
Okay.
no, just the
You're talking
actual
about the
Capers
Capers
liability, and it
Okay.
seems like Capers is one of the big ones, and
Yeah.
sometimes there's health insurance, maybe liability within each fund, and like I said, some small amounts, positive,
Right.
negative,
Yep.
just,
I got all the back ones on top of them for 22, so.
good, good. Some of my seems supposed to automatically clear out, and just doesn't always
Right.
perfectly, so. You guys have anything else you had questions or concerns about?
I have something I'd like to send to the take them off regarding the audit, but whenever you guys are.
I'm not sure.
If everything looks good, I'll just need to get chairman's signature and clerk and treasurer on those. It's just the letter saying you provide us all the information requested. It's all accurate, that type of things.
There's two of them.
And you can keep that copy, Scott.
Okay. I wanted to talk about these 3 townships.
Yep, shoot.
Since we have
Yep.
everybody at the table.
Sounds good.
There's 3 line item funds for, one for Binkelman Township, one for Calhoun, and one for Jakeway. Nothing has been done in these accounts since 2010. And I think it's actually been previous to that. That's just when we converted over to CIC, so that's as far back as my records go. This was tax collected money for these townships, so that's why it's stayed in these things, but they don't exist anymore, the townships. So I'm trying to figure out what we can do with this, and you said we could
As far
close
as I
them
know,
and.
yeah, I mean, need to figure out
Department head bonus.
what to do with them.
Yeah. And I get 90% because I'm doing it?
Yeah, and
Since it's county tax money, could it go back to county general and we could close these out? Because now road and bridge is, I mean, that's what these different townships were for, was to maintain the roads and do all that. And then the county road and bridge was created to do all of that instead of the individual townships.
And that's
Right, but
113,
they
115,000.
to keep Jakeway and to keep Binkelman
Okay,
and
so,
such, and so we had to look, gosh, we looked that up when, a couple years ago,
Yeah.
but they actually carried a petition in regards to those
Well,
townships.
now like the road and bridge stuff, that was in 46, I believe. They went to the county road system, so that wouldn't have been taxed for county roads. This has been the other tax, like holding elections and that type of
And
stuff.
they don't anymore, do they?
They probably don't even have a township board or anything like
No.
that at
No.
this point,
No, they
so.
just have trustees.
Right, so, I,
Well, I know a few years back, Calhoun had a big amount, and they put quite a bit into the fair board. Did a couple of projects at the fairgrounds. You remember that?
I don't know.
Oh,
so I had the reason why this came up was a taxpayer, concerned citizen, wanted to know if some of this money could go back to the cemeteries that are in those
Townships.
townships to help those cemeteries.
But
So,
those
but the cemeteries have
cemeteries
budgets
are all
and,
Yeah.
one thing.
yeah, there's, yeah, we have cemetery 1 and cemetery 2. So I don't know. I guess I'm just trying to look out for the county because there's 15,000 sitting here that's been sitting there since at least 2010 that
I think it dates back
way.
quite a bit.
Yeah, and I
before
just,
that, because Dolores had told us about it at some point, and I want to say it dated back to maybe when she started, time frame somewhere back in there even, so, and that's the problem, is that nobody really knows the exact origin, what exactly happened, why it wasn't distributed out,
right,
type thing,
I
so.
wonder when they disorganized or whatever, that they just kept some money in there in case something came in.
That
And then
very well
never
could
did
be.
anything with
but you went through all sorts of,
it. Yeah.
to see if there was resolutions and to see if there was,
Some of
and you
that,
couldn't,
no.
so I just,
So can it go to the cemetery?
I don't
You
know
don't know
if it
yet?
needs just to go back into county general.
I can ask Mom. She's involved in all that.
Yeah,
See what she recollects in regards to what the discussions were.
okay.
'Cause I guess,
Because that's about the only thing that really exists
yeah.
in the townships are these cemeteries that's maintained.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I really don't know what to tell you. I think it's just gonna have to be your guys' discretion how best to handle it, because like I said, no, there's just not enough
Evidence.
evidence of what it is to
Okay.
even know, so I think it's just gonna have to be.
But we would need to have a resolution
Yeah,
for each
yeah,
one
I
of
think
these
I
to
would,
close
just document
these.
what you did, and,
Okay,
yep,
and
I
yeah,
think
where the
you'll be
money's gonna
fine.
go
Yeah.
and, okay.
yep, just,
So will you check with your mom about the cemetery stuff?
Well, no, she was involved in when they were petitioning.
Oh, that
townships.
too, okay.
She and Hazel were big in that.
I think they used a lot of that money, well, not a lot of it, but they had community buildings. They had their township, they voted in their own townships, and they paid the workers out of that.
Right, but that's ceased, so this is, but it was tax levied money, so there are some stipulations to, I mean,
Well, it's too bad it can't be used some way in the township.
ideally, that would be
Yeah.
the best
It
thing,
is township money.
right?
But I don't know what
Well,
plans
that
or.
township is
Like
the
I said, I
county.
know
Yeah.
Calhoun, they took some of that money and put it in a project at the fairgrounds.
They didn't take any of this money because this hasn't been touched since 2010
Yeah,
or before.
That was before 2000.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know if we can go back and ask some of these trustees.
I know Walter Douthit and them were still involved out there. And Roger,
I would say just get resolutions done up and be done with it. Put it in the general. But it's up to you guys.
I mean, that,
Because that's where all their money is now, you know?
easily the simplest.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, as long as it stays within the budget or within county funds,
right,
it's just a matter, like you're saying, it's just a matter of where is it going to be.
right.
So that there's not any confusion because of these line items.
Right,
Yeah, I just do a resolution.
Yeah.
and dump it back into
Dump it into
general.
General, yep.
Here's 3 townships.
We need a resolution. Motion or resolution, Brian?
Motion would be fine.
Motion
Oh,
would be.
motion?
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, I
Rock
didn't
and
want to
roll.
write any resolution.
Because there's already a resolution that these have been disbanded. So this is just a motion to
Right.
move the money.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
I think that would be sufficient.
Looks to me like we, wanna go out for steaks?
Hey now, it was 90% finder fee.
It was never lost, you didn't find anything. It's just been sitting there.
Alright. It needs to be, go back into general, I'm sure. I don't know what else we can do. There's no projects that they can do in their township anymore.
So we need a motion to move it then?
That is correct.
I move that we close out, what is it, General Fund 01?
No, we're gonna close those 3 funds. Those 3 township funds.
00077.
Oh, 077
Yep.
and 079 and 082.
And transfer.
Transfer it into general.
I second it.
First and second, to transfer the money from, what was it called?
From the townships to general.
Township funds, back to general. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Okay,
Perfect. Thank you, guys.
thanks for finding it.
Yeah. I wanna get some of these funds closed, cause there's too many of them. And I know he would appreciate having to,
Doesn't hurt our feelings.
between the accounts and the funds, I'm trying to consolidate some stuff and make it more streamlined.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Good enough, thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Scott, do we have anything else? Yeah. Do you have anything else? My phone
Here's
never
the thing.
rings. And it
If we
rang.
don't, then we could have been doing a better job on keeping the schools. Because there's one group of 4-H'ers, oh, well, there's not even one out there, there's not this. And
I
it's
think
like,
that's yours. I think I made
there's
notes
two.
on
The
mine.
turn on and shut off is at our house.
If not,
We pay
I'm
the
sorry.
electric on
See
it.
where I want to
We,
put
you
this
know,
one
and
with.
they take care of it.
They used
Did you guys have anything else? Anything else?
Coming out here, do you?
I make a motion that we adjourn then.
Second.
motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Well, Don Amber headed to Manhasset tonight with the camper. Just park it down at the creek.
Oh, yeah?
I can leave this here, right?
Texas?
Texas tax tomorrow. So Jordy's coming up, McKenna's driving over,
Now they'll have fun.
and there's gonna be like seven girls
Leave this.
coming in. And Don and Amber are getting the hotel room.